Have you ever had an app idea in your head and thought, this could actually make money? The ability to code, or at least work with AI to build, can turn that very idea into a real income-generating product. But here's the trap. Most beginners waste months learning random coding concepts that don't actually move them closer to making something profitable. As much as knowing how to code is important, remember that making money is more of a business game than a coding one. So, why does this happen? It could be a lack of confidence, limited time, or simply not knowing where to start. There can be lots of reasons. If that's the case, there's a saying that goes, a lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition. So, if your goal is to build an app that provides value and earns money, here's the good news. You don't need to know every technical detail or language or framework to make it happen. You just need to start small and build momentum. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a clear step-by-step, no-fluff roadmap for coding your first app with AI, adding payments so you can earn from day one, building a landing page that actually converts, and getting your first few paying customers. Along with that, I will walk you through how I created my first app and made my first few dollars off of it. But before we get into the roadmap, let's talk about something just as important, maybe even more, which is your mindset. You have to think of yourself as a problem solver, not a programmer. You're not memorizing syntax or blindly prompting AI to spit out code. You're creating real solutions that save people time, remove pain points, or help them make money. This journey of building software that people want to use will require you to think like a businessman more than a programmer. So, start with the foundations and understand how to create real value for people. For that, I recommend following Alex Hormozi for that he gives extremely meaningful and valuable advice for those wanting to start earning. The link to his channel will be down in my description for those who are interested. So here's the truth. If you're able to create something that genuinely is valuable to people and helps people, people will buy. So whenever you are learning or building, keep asking yourself, how would this improve someone's life? Once you've got that mindset, the next step is to set a clear specific goal. Things like, I want to build an app is too vague, so use this formula instead. I normally ask myself, what do I want to build? And I say, I want to build an app that does X to solve Y problems for Z type of user. And if you can, what's even better is to solve a problem you personally have. That way, you already understand what your audience faces and therefore have a better idea of how to create an app that is valuable. From there, focus on building something simple, lovable, and complete. Simple means one or two core features that directly solve the problem, nothing extra. Lovable means that the design is clean enough that people want to use it. And complete means it actually works end to end. It is better to ship version 1 of something small than 0.1 of something overcomplicated. To build your first app, you need to learn a tech stack. You will need to know how to build your front end, back end, decide what framework you want to use, and what programming languages you want to learn. A lot of people get stuck here asking, what's the best programming language to learn? My answer is that it depends on what you want to build. Once you decided, stick with it. For web apps, a great beginner's friendly stack is Next.js. For the front end, a simple hosted database like Supabase. For the back end, Stripe for payments, and AI tools like Cursor to speed up coding. When you are in the building phase of your app and you want a clear roadmap to follow, check out Roadmap.sh. It offers detailed roadmaps for different development paths like front-end, back-end, and mobile. It's free, regularly updated, and clearly marks which topics are essential versus optional, helping you stay focused and learning efficiently. A great companion for your coding journey. So once you have chosen your tech stack, you can speed up your learning and building time by leveraging on AI. This is where AI makes things so much easier. Treat it like a junior developer. Give it clear instructions, let it write the first draft of the code, then test and fix with its help. For those that are complete beginners to coding, I recommend using Framer for UI/UX design and prototyping, Lovable for front-end, Cursor for development, Supabase for the backend, Vercel for hosting, Git and GitHub for version control and repository, and lastly, Stripe for accepting payments. Oh, and of course, ChatGPT. Moreover, this is how I'm currently building my own startup as well, called Opes. And I will link all the resources down in this description, including all the softwares that I'm personally using for my software startup, front-end, back-end, etc. So, Once your app works, even in the simplest form, straight away add payments. Don't wait until you've perfected it. The key is to monetize early, then launch it. Even if it's ugly, post it where your potential users hang out, such as Reddit, communities, Product Hunt, X, niche forums, Instagram, everywhere. Remember that when you are first starting out, people won't know you exist, so your sole focus here will be on finding traffic and letting as many people know about your app. And during this phase, there's a phrase that I always tell myself: volume negates luck. Ask yourself what you can logically do so that it will be impossible for people not to notice your app. And at first, this will be posting on social media every day, sometimes even more than once a day. The key is to do so much volume that you take luck out of the equation. That's business 101. Now that you've gotten your traffic settled and people are beginning to find out more about your app, build a landing page. Its only job is to turn strangers into paying customers. Remember that you are not trying to perfect your app, so monetizing and being profitable is key to keeping your business software alive and running. Only by doing so will you be able to keep reiterating your app better and better. There's a common misconception that successful software owners magically have a great idea from the start. Most often the case is that people start with a bad idea. The difference is that successful software owners continuously improve and iterate on that idea, so eventually turning that bad idea into a less bad idea, then to a decent one, and eventually out comes a great idea. So, for your landing page, ideally, you will need a headline that clearly states the value of your software, how you can help them, a demo or screenshot showing it in action, social proof like testimonials or your backstory, and a big call to action button right at the top to convert strangers to paying customers. From there, only add features when paying users ask for them more than once. On your landing page, only 3 numbers matter, of which first is the number of visitors, second is how many visitors turn into checkout clicks, third is how many checkout clicks actually turn into paying customers. Improving these are more important than changing colors or tweaking animations. So you have launched your app and got your first few users. That's a solid step forward. From here, it's about gradually turning your app from a good enough into something people genuinely like using. The simplest way is to keep the feedback loop open, add a small feedback button, leave your email somewhere easy to find, or maybe even set up a small space where users can share thoughts. When the feedback comes in, don't jump on everything. Look at how often it's being mentioned, how easy is it to do, how much it actually helps your user, and since you're working solo, you can roll out changes without waiting on anyone else. Remember that speed is key. Keep the pace steady, improve bit by bit, and let the app get better over time. So here's a quick summary. Find a painful problem, create a plan and a tech stack, build with AI, add payment, launch ugly and market, improve what earns. I've linked my exact prompts, weekend build checklist, and starter template in the description. If you built something from this, drop it in the comments. I'd love to see it and maybe feature it in my next video.